Today, on Be Something Wonderful, knowing this makes you invincible. Next level, Neville Goddard. I am your host, Tom Kieran, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. I heard from one of you that said, Tom, my faith has been shaky lately. Things have happened in my life, and I've been imagining my wish fulfilled. I've been living in the end. I've been praying to God for my desires, and especially during this time where I'm starting to doubt and I feel a lot of fear. I've been praying a little bit more. That God helps me through this, that God brings me what I want. And I'm just wondering, how does this affect my state of wish fulfilled and really manifesting what I want? Well, guys, we're going to unpack this today and more. And I've talked about this before in probably more than 600 videos that are on the channel, but I want to hit this today like we've never, ever talked about it. Here's what I want to say, that it's not necessary to have what you would consider perfect faith. Hear this. What's important is that your faith is greater than your fear. Hear this, that your faith is stronger than your doubt. Right? Remember a mustard seed, right? If you had just the faith of a mustard seed, faith is absolute and perfect in itself. So it's not that you don't have, that there are going to be times, there's always going to be some fear, there's always going to be some doubt, right? But as long as your faith is greater than the doubt, as long as your faith is stronger than the fear, then you're living and you're dwelling in that larger context of who you really are. Do you hear this? Even Jesus, the Messiah, the King of Kings, the night before his crucifixion, started doubting. He was agonizing. He cried out to God, right? Remember, in the garden, he said, if you would take this cup from me, right? That cup represented his suffering, his fears, and his doubt. And he said, but not my will, yours be done, right? Jesus gave it to God. Even Jesus was questioning it. Right? But remember, it's not that God heard the agonizing or the crying out of Jesus. What did God hear? God hears your faith. God sees your faith. It's not the pleading. It's not the agonizing to God. It's not saying, give me what I want. God sees the faith behind it. That's what he saw with Jesus. That's what he sees with you. Right? Let's really unpack this. So when imagining, when creating and manifesting, it's not necessary to have perfect faith. What matters is that your faith is stronger than your fear, that your faith is greater than your doubt, that you're coming from that larger context of knowing who you are, just like Jesus did, coming from that larger context of knowing that he was the Son of God. Right? So it's a knowing. Your faith's already perfect with that knowing. Right? Don't be afraid of fear, right? Or don't be afraid of doubt. It's the fear of doubt. It's the fear of fear that's getting in your way, right? Agonizing, fearful pleading is not what God recognizes, right? God sees and hears your faith, just like Jesus, right? When he said, not my will, but yours be done, right? Step into that bigger context of whom you really are. Source energy, one with God. That's how I want to start today. Let's unpack this a little bit more. So, Neville Goddard, one of my favorite quotes, and really one of the most powerful quotes that Neville said, this is what he said about belief. Right? Because I think you were saying that you're questioning now your beliefs. You're wondering if there's limiting beliefs that you got to go dig up and find. And you're thinking about you have to fix your faith. You have to fix yourself. You have to be fearless and completely without doubt. That's not what we're talking about here. Here's what Neville says. When you have found the cause of the phenomena of your life, let every other belief go. Wow. Pause on that, guys. You know what that means, right? So it's not about digging through your past or digging through who you are, trying to fix things, trying to always hold what you consider perfect faith. It's just letting go all the other stuff. All that other stuff, all that fear and doubt and beliefs and assumptions that you're less than you who really are goes away when you believe, when you know this, when you know the cause of life, that you are source. Right? He says, let every other belief go. You can. Because when you have this belief, every other belief goes. You might have some doubt and fear that come up once in a while, but you're in that larger context. That's a powerful quote. That's big, right? Use your imagination consciously, and after a while, you stop fighting shadows. The conflict within you will cease, and your world will be at peace. This is Neville again. Neville again laying it out for us, right? You use your imagination consciously. Remember that imagination within you is Christ within you. That's source energy within you, right? And after a while, you stop fighting shadows. Stop fighting those shadows of doubt and fear, right? Let them be. You don't have to fight them. You don't have to fight them. That doubt and that fear dissolves when you let it go, right? When you let it go and stand in that belief, in that knowing of the phenomena of life within you. Wow, that's big, right? So you don't, because otherwise you're just fighting shadows of the 3D world. All that fear and all that doubt is from shadows. Right, and Neville's clear here. That conflict within you will cease, and your world will be at peace. As Jesus said, right, the kingdom. Find the kingdom first, and everything else will be added to you. Let's really unpack this today. Remember, it's about making everything else secondary to your source within. That's your superpower, right? It's the awareness. Hear this: awareness in the knowing of that I am within you, of that Christ within you, of that imagination, that you are source. That awareness is your superpower. I really want to get this. It doesn't mean that you won't doubt or that you won't fear. That's the 3D you. That's part of who you are. Don't deny that. Don't resist it. Just as Jesus was a man after all, right? He was agonizing, but then if you remember, he got up standing in that faith again. Remembering that he's the Son of God, knowing now he has nothing to fear, right? So it's okay. Just remember that awareness is your superpower. Jesus had that awareness. You do too. It's impossible to be attached to anything in 3D or feel any lack whatsoever when you have this knowing. Do you hear this? 3D, anything in 3D, any lack, any doubt, any fear makes no sense when you have this knowing. Right? This is what Jesus meant by first seek the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all those things will be added to you. The righteousness is the consciousness of already being what you want to be, already knowing that you are it. Right? That's the kingdom. The kingdom is source energy, and that's within you. Right? The universe, the 3D world, everything you want is already within you. Right? And then here's what he says in Luke 17:21. Nor will they say, see here or see there, for indeed the kingdom of heaven is within you. So it's within you. You don't have to look anywhere for it, right? So let's just unpack this a little bit more. The time it takes your assumption to become a reality is proportionate to the naturalness of being it. Here's Neville Goddard again. Right? Because the question always comes up, well, the reason I start doubting it, the reason I start getting fearful is because it hasn't come. Well, guys, remember, it's about moving to that natural state. But here's the good news. You don't have to struggle. I really want to hit this with you. You don't have to struggle to make this natural, because it already is natural. This is really what I want to hit with you. You are one with source energy. It's already natural. With the processes and all this stuff we're trying to do, we're trying to unnaturally reach for it, right? The processes are good and they're powerful and they are part of it. But if you forget the context and keep focused on that content, beating that content in the ground, you forget who you really are, right? It's already natural. When you are your desired reality, you're no longer looking for it, you're looking as it. Hear this. Because it's all within you anyway, right? Everything you want, it's already within you. You are that desired reality. And when you are that desired reality, when you know you're the source of everything that you want in your life, you're no longer looking for it because you're looking as it. You can't find it if you're looking for it because you are it. You can't see that. You can't see that consciousness, right? You're the lighthouse looking for its own light. We've talked about this before, right? You can't find your own light. You've got to know it, right? It can be reflected back to you, and that's really what happens in 3D reality, right? Your light is reflected back to you, right? It's not about getting or manifesting. Rather, it's about giving and receiving, right? The 3D, we get caught up in this 3D world, in our 3D selves, and we always want to get something, want to manifest something. There's nothing wrong with wanting and desiring anything. But remember, it's not about getting it or even manifesting. It's about allowing it, perceiving it, and receiving it, right? It's about you giving it to yourself, right? God only knows how to give. It's the 3D you that always wants to get, right? But that higher you already knows you already have it. So it's only about giving and then allowing yourself to receive it. That's big. Goddard's source is the energy of giving, is the energy of love. The 3D mind is the energy of getting, the energy of survival. Do you get this, guys? This is big. Let's unpack this. The question is not, geez, there we go. The question is not, what are you doing? Or what am I doing? Right? Sometimes we go, am I doing it right? Or what am I doing? Or what else do I need to do to make this happen? What do I do about my fear? What do I do about my doubt? It's not about what you're doing, it's about who you're being. It's never about what I should do, right? It's who do I want to be, right? Who do I want to be in this moment? Every decision you make in 3D doesn't matter as long as it's answering the question of who do you want to be. Hear this, because there'll be things that you won't decide because who do you want to be in this moment, right? Who do you want to be now? That's the only answer. The answer to that question answers everything. And remember, in the larger context of reality, you are source. So that's who you want to be. You want to be that next, this is what Neil Donald Walsh said in Conversations with God, right? That next best version of yourself. That's the only answer to that question is what's that next best version of yourself? Who is that? When you stop making the state of wish fulfilled or feeling whole or fulfilled a quid pro quo, right? Sometimes we imagine it or we maintain good feelings or we maintain the wish fulfilled because we want to get something for it, right? I'll feel good. Okay, Tom, I'll feel good. I'll maintain that wish fulfilled, but I better get what I want. Do you hear the insanity in that, right? It's forgetting something. So we're making this wish fulfilled or this feeling of fulfillment or feeling whole, a quid pro quo for getting something or experiencing some outcome in the 3D world. Everything you desire will be added to you when you are it. You don't need a quid pro quo. It's yours already. Wow, that's big. Let's unpack this a little bit more. True feelings of fulfillment and love come from the heart and soul in the now moment, right? Remember, that's where the true feelings are. Sometimes you say, well, Tom, I'm feeling wish fulfilled. Are you feeling wish fulfilled? Or are you feeling a thought of the 3D mind? Because there's a difference. If you're feeling your wish fulfilled, and then in the next moment you're asking or wondering, where is it? You're not feeling your wish fulfilled, right? Then those are not true feelings of fulfillment. Do you hear this? Remember, feelings are the language of your soul. That's how you communicate with the divine matrix or that greater reality or the field of infinite possibilities. You can't communicate directly. You've got to communicate with feelings. Your soul is communicating to you through feelings. Feelings are truth, but they're not the feelings that you confuse with the 3D feelings, because those 3D feelings are just thoughts masquerading as feelings. This really was hit very well in Conversations with God with Neil Donald Walsh, right? We mix up thoughts that are masquerading as feelings, right? Where we're not really in our wish fulfilled, right? Where our true feelings of our soul we're not listening to, we're not feeling it, right? So those thoughts, and I'm not saying this happens all the time, and I'm not saying that you're not in your wish fulfilled. I'm saying just be cognizant of it, right? Just be aware of that, right? They are thoughts masquerading as feelings. That can happen sometimes, right? That your 3D it has these thoughts that you think are feelings of wish fulfilled, but they're just thoughts. Right? You're in the, so what do we, and mostly what do we think about? We think about that we don't have it and we want it. We're thinking about a past moment, because in the now moment, you're already fulfilled. So whenever you're having thoughts of non-fulfillment, hear this, this is big. Whenever you're having thoughts of non-fulfillment, whenever you're thinking you don't have something, you're always in the past. Why? Why do I know that? Because in the now, in that eternal now, you lack nothing. It's all within you. It's all there. You just can't see it and perceive it. That's big. You're in the past wishing for something to happen in the imaginary future. That's what happens when you're listening to the 3D feelings masquerading as thoughts. You're really in what you believe is a state of wish fulfilled, but you're hoping for something to get something in the future. You're hoping for something to manifest. It's only in that eternal now where your heart and soul is talking to you, is communicating with you, is telling you that it's all right, that it's all within you, right? You are so again, you are outside when you're doing this, when you're in the past, and we mostly are in the past. We're always in the past. Right? We don't pause and really create. All creation happens from the now, happens from the eternal now. We get windows of it, and that's how our manifestations pop into our experience, right? But you want to be in it most of the time, right? You are outside of the present moment where your wish is already fulfilled, judging and reacting to it versus being it. So you're outside of the present moment. The present moment is where your wish is fulfilled. The now moment is where you have everything. But you're stepping outside of it and just judging 3D reality or reacting to it versus being it. Do you get this, guys? This is so big today. So now, the present moment is the only place in time where your wish is fulfilled, right? That's where creation happens. That's where you perceive it. That's where you receive it. That's where you create it. But if you step outside the present moment and start judging it and start saying it's not here yet or it's been a long time, now you're reacting, right? Remember, the present moment, standing in that which is fulfilled, it's always creative, the now moment, right? But reacting is never created. That's why in Conversations with God, I like how they play with the words here. That if you cross the C out of creative, it's reactive, right? Or, sorry, creative, reactive. There you go. And add a C, reactive, right? You're reacting versus creating, right? You can't keep looking out there, worrying what you're doing wrong and be one with your desire. Hear this. If you keep looking out there, wondering what you're doing wrong, wondering where it is, wondering if your imaginal act's correct, you're not living in that larger context of who you really are, right? You're not one with your desire. You're not in the now moment, and you're not fulfilled, right? Separation is the opposite of oneness and fulfillment. When you think it's out there, you're separated from it. When you're wondering where it is, you're separated from it. When you're wondering how long it's been, you're separated from it. When you're wondering if the process is correct, you're separated from what you want. I really want to hit that. So instead of feeling incomplete or unfulfilled, moving toward completeness and fulfillment. So we always feel continually, constantly unfulfilled or incomplete. Even when we manifest something, We're immediately, we're fulfilled for a second, and then we move to unfulfillment again. So instead of feeling incomplete and unfulfilled, moving toward some completeness or fulfillment in the future, hear this, this is big. Future, imaginary future. Think like your higher self, moving within a constant state of completeness and fulfillment with the desire and intention to experience another aspect of that whole of which you are. Hear this, your soul, your inner being, who you really are, knows that you're already complete. So it knows that it's just experiencing an aspect of that completeness, an aspect of that fulfillment. It doesn't look at it as non-fulfillment. It looks like it's always fulfilled and is experiencing another part of that fulfillment in the 3D world. Do you get this? You're already whole. You're just experiencing a part of that whole in 3D. So you're always fulfilled. If you look at it like that, you're going to be walking in a world of miracles every day, right? Because you're fulfilled. That means you're on a frequency of fulfillment. That means everything must be added to you. Do you hear this, right? So it's not going from incomplete to complete or unfulfilled to fulfillment. It's about going from complete to experience completeness. Hear this. Experience some aspect of your completeness. It's going from fulfilled to experiencing another part of that fulfillment. Wow, that's big. So let's just bring it home here. So it's going from fulfillment to fulfillment, from complete to complete, from perfect to perfect. Right? Remember, that imperfection is perfection. Everything is just a judgment in 3D in the world of duality, in the world of relativity. You're seeing a 0.0001% of the big picture. You're seeing a tiny little fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what's really going on, and you're judging it and calling that reality, right? It's about increasing your awareness of that life energy within you. It's all within you. So you're already fulfilled, so it's just saying, okay, I decide as source energy to see this part of my fulfillment, to experience it, right? Remember, I said in previous videos, you're already perfectly and fully evolved. So you're just re-experiencing a part of your evolution, right? Seeing that fulfillment in the unfulfilled, seeing the beauty in the contrast, the perfection in the imperfection, that's what it's about. Do you hear this? That's what God does. That's what your higher self does. It's seeing the fulfillment in the unfulfilled. It's seeing the beauty in the contrast. It's seeing the perfection in the imperfection. How do you do it? How do you do that? You step into the bigger infinite context of who you are, right? It's that bigger context, right? That's what Jesus did when he got up from praying and from feeling that feeling agonizing, feeling feeling the weight of what was going to happen the next day, his crucifixion. He finally got up and realized his oneness again, right? Went back within, right? So close your eyes. How do you do it? Close your eyes, be still and just know. Acknowledge it. You don't even have to do anything. Close your eyes and just acknowledge it. Accept it as the existing of something much larger than you. Accept that there's something much larger going on here. And that is you, the real you. When you do that, guys, knowing this makes you invisible. That's next level Neville Goddard. I am your host, Tom Caron, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, like and share our videos. That's how we get our message out. Hit us up on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful, on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Caron, our website at tomcaron.com or BeSomethingWonderful.com, or write me anytime at info@BeSomethingWonderful.com. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, with great love and great light, this is Tom. See you soon.